right, so I'm setting the scene. Dog, she doesn't count though, so go over there. My lovely audience is my mother, who is obviously over 18. So, yeah. This is the setup. She's going to be recording. Okay, ready? Lights, camera, go. Action. Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming today. My name is Alyssa Valdez-Maxey. I'm going to be demonstrating how to work from home. So, to start with some questions. Who here has ever worked before?
Me.
You cannot raise your hand. Who here has ever worked at a day job where they need to go places, they need to go to meetings, have to actually wake up early and go somewhere?
Me.
Me as well. And who here has ever wanted to work from home before?
Me. I love it.
Me too. And who here has actually worked from home before?
Me.
Great. Everyone in the audience has had experience working from home. So, to start, there are some important concepts when it comes to working from home. And those are how to work, how to communicate, and how to learn officially while you're at the home environment. Because obviously, you don't have your bosses there, you don't have your peers, and you don't have necessarily immediate resources that you could just walk up and go to. You kind of have to find them on your own, kind of have to do that extra work to find the resources that you need. So, in order to work, how do you work effectively when working from home? From my experience as someone who has worked from home for the past year or so, and who actually started a new job while working from home during this pandemic, I followed these steps that I actually found from Forbes' list. First off is act as if you are going into the office. So that means waking up early. It might mean getting dressed. For me, it doesn't. I usually am in pajamas. It might mean getting dressed. It might mean having a routine and making yourself a cup of coffee, getting yourself breakfast, maybe getting yourself ready for meetings that you'll have later in the day, that type of thing. Next is create a reasonable to-do list. Like I said, when you're having your morning routine, what do you need to do for today? Whether it's just work things or whether you have to note that you have to do the laundry today or you have to take the dog for a walk. That type of thing. It helps get you a routine, helps get you in that mind space as if you are actually working from an office space. Next is going to be think like an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs are very forward thinking and they like to think ahead of what they might need to do, what they should be doing, not necessarily as in their job description, but going a little above and beyond. Next is going to be stay in contact. This will come in, especially later, like I said, communication. That's extremely important when you're needing to communicate with your boss, your coworkers, you have deadlines that need to be met, and also you have things that you need to work with others on, where it's a group project, maybe it's a meeting that needs to be handled, that type of thing. It is important to not get super distracted while you're working, like don't be on your phone all day, but it is acceptable to have 1 or 2 moments where maybe you check the news, or you have the news on in the background while you're working, or maybe you check your Facebook feed, hopefully not for a long time, during your scheduled bathroom breaks, possibly you could do this. It's okay to have minimal distractions, just don't let them take up your entire day, because then you'll just lose all of that workflow that you need. The last step, and this may be just a stay-at-home one, or some people don't do this in the office anyways, exercise. Exercise helps get that brain flow. Usually in the office, you're walking around the office sometimes, going from place to place, going from meeting room to meeting room. You'll also need to get that blood flowing when you're at home. You need to walk around maybe your house while you're on a conference call, maybe just by walking your dog, you get that blood flow that you need, that you would have in a daily practice. All right? The next thing we need to talk about is communication. When you're working from home, communication is key because you are literally by yourself. And when you're by yourself, in order to not be alone, you have to utilize things like Microsoft Teams, Skype for Business, and also things like Ring Central. When it comes to working from home in the pandemic, I know that at least in 2019, apps like Microsoft Teams went from having just 13 million users, which is still a lot, to having, I believe, 75 million users that was just in April when the pandemic barely started. So when it comes to using things like this, it is of the utmost importance that you correlate between your team, because obviously these are being used by a numerous amount of people. This gets 4.1 billion hits in a day from its daily users. So when you have those opportunities to use elements like this, not only for business, you could also use RingCentral for casual calls, Skype casually, Microsoft Teams. Maybe you have a book club or something. This is a little bit extreme for a book club, but you know what I'm saying. It's important to not only communicate for the workplace, but also when it comes to your peers and when it comes to your family. Getting that daily communication that you would normally have in an office space is also important in the workplace. Right? Next is going to be learning. You need to keep your mind fresh in the workplace. You need to make sure you're a valuable asset. You can do this by using tools like Skillshare and also using tools like YouTube. There it is. By using these two tools, one of which is free, one of which you might have to pay a subscription or two, you are able to heighten yourself as an employee. I myself use Skillshare and YouTube to learn a few new coding languages that would make me more valuable as an employee. My employers are very impressed with that because it shows that I have that drive to achieve more, which they want, and they want you to do yourself. But so always make sure to challenge yourself and learn on a day-to-day basis, even if it's not a requirement. Right? So now it's up to you. You have all these tools. You can use what you can, get organized, get productive, get to communicating, and most importantly, get to work. You have all the tools that you need to be successful in the workplace. So there's no reason that you shouldn't, even if the workplace is your home, or for me, my bedroom, or maybe the living room. Wherever you're at, you can have a good work experience. So I just want to leave with that. And if you have any more questions, any more information that you would like to ask me, you can contact me at moreinfo@more.com or text more to 12345. I will be available. Due to COVID, I am social distancing, so please use these outlets. Don't come to me. Thank you.